between the Clemson Tigers and the NC State Wolfpack. After rotation number 1, Clemson has a slight edge with a 49-375. A lot of it comes down to those landings. One extra step is going to be the matchup between these two teams. We've got a good look at Emily Shepard, the graduate student from NC State, a 3-time ACC Gymnast of the Week, and just a phenomenal performer for this Wolfpack team. Again, 2 others from these programs, Lex Ortega and Rebecca Wells, co-specialists of the week based on their performances last weekend. And there we see Cameron Wade, the newcomer of the week for the Tar Heels that competed last night. All right, and stick around for rotation number 2. We'll be back just after the break. Have a fantastic matchup. You see number 22 Clemson taking on the NC State Wolfpack. These two teams are actually ranked number 1 and number 2 in the ACC conference, and right now Clemson has that slight edge over the Wolfpack. For rotation number 2, Clemson's going to flip over to vault. NC State's going to continue on in Olympic order, which is vault, bars, beam, and then they will end on the floor exercise. Right now, the gymnasts are finishing up their team touch. A couple of turns over each apparatus. In the rankings right now, NC State on the bars is ranked number 2. Whereas on the vault, Clemson is ranked number 2, and they are flip-flopping back and forth. We'll take a quick look at their head coach, Kim Landers, in her 7th season at the helm of this Wolfpack gymnastics team. Beam is mainly her specialty, so we'll see her aspects coming up. But you see there the 2021 East Atlantic Gymnastic League regular season champions. That's the former conference prior to the ACC getting back together. So again, the first time in 40 years, NC State actually looking for a repeat. They're looking to go back-to-back ACC champions. There's just a 40-year gap in between.
One thing I liked too in talking with her this week was we asked, you guys are on a roll and your team's doing so well. How do you manage that messaging to the team or that so-called pressure? And I loved how she said the messaging is consistent. Every athlete on this team is hungry and we're finding joy in the journey. So I loved the joy in the journey. That was a standout, and I made a note of that. And so really cool to hear just how she explained that to us. And you can see it through the team and how they're performing.
Absolutely. Both teams have just been so fantastic at making sure they've started their momentum and kept that momentum going forward. So again, Rebecca Wells is going to be the leadoff here for the Clemson Tigers on vault. Again, ACC co-specialist of the week. Last week ended with a 9.85 on this event. Multiple 10.0 start values out of this Tiger team.
Which, like you mentioned, is a huge advantage. Really big, wow. Yurchenko full. She nailed that landing.
That is definitely a stuck landing.
Absolutely. What a way to start off this vault lineup. Wow.
We're going to take another look at this. Again, the height, the dynamics, the distance. And there's no more college stick.
That was a cold stick right there. There was no movement going on. So
again, that vault, the Yurchenko full, only worth a 9.95. So the maximum she can get, assuming they take no deductions, is that 9.95. Back over to the uneven bars. Kaylee Adamides for the Wolfpack. She's a bar specialist.
She's been so consistent for this Wolfpack team, leading off bars. You can see that really nice handstand into this double tuck dismount, and another stop dismount to start off this
was the score that they were able to drop. Bars was the only event that NC State did not get that 49 or above. So we're going to take another look at this dismount.
She did a great job finding that landing. Looked like she had to pull a little bit more at the end, which just goes to show how well she knew her air sense.
So we'll take a look at Eve Jackson for the Tigers.
Another really big full. Again, I love that distance from the table to the landing. Almost had that stick, but there's going to be a deduction on that slight hop. Let's take another look. Right here, nice block. It looked like she did break out for that landing, but just couldn't quite get it.
Peyton Childs for the Wolfpack. Again, another bar specialist. Just has been such a solid contributor all season. I'm going to knock on wood, but so far she's hit 6 for 6. Last week she went 9-8 on this event.
I think you might have jinxed her.
I totally jinxed her. I should not have said anything.
Obviously, you hate to see a fall. Just looked like she was a little bit too far away from the bar on that release. Couldn't quite get that grip.
So it puts a little bit of pressure on the rest of the lineup as, again, for those that are newer to the sport, the top 6 gymnasts compete, but only 5 scores are counted, so they can drop the low score, but what they don't want to happen is to have a second fall.
Now getting ready for her dismount, that blind fall into the double tuck. Really good finish on that routine. Again, she's going to be disappointed in the fall.
I'll have to apologize after the meet. So still a strong finish as we get back over to the vault rotation. There you see the points of emphasis as far as what the judges are looking for.
The start value, like we talked about, that 10-0 versus that 9.95. Huge difference than the execution, again, and then those stock landings. Landings, 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 if you take one thing away from gymnastics.
Absolutely. Molly Arnold, the redshirt sophomore from Bloomington, Minnesota.
Wow. She must have heard us saying landings because that was a 1.5, which was a 10-0 start value. And it looked like she stuck it from our angle. That vault is more difficult. Take a look here. She does an extra half twist. Found that. Again, it is a blind landing, so very difficult to stick.
I love their facial reactions.
I don't know if the judges will take a little bit of deduction on the squat. It looked like there was a little bit of a squat with those bent knees, but well done.
A phenomenal job for Arnold. As Madeline Reed gets set on the uneven bar. So again, Child's falling, it just puts a little bit more pressure on Maddie Reed coming in. She actually made her debut on this event last week and just completely rocked it. So hoping for a repeat today.
It is a lot of pressure, but it's also a good opportunity for this team to bounce back, and it gives you a lot of confidence when the rest of your lineup goes up and hits.
So far, so good. So far, so good. And you see those points of emphasis for the uneven bars that the judges are taking a look at.
She's going to be looking for this stick. Nice job. Way to get them back on track. That's exactly what this NC State team needed.
Absolutely. Debuted with a 9.725.
Take another look here. Look at the height on that double back, full twisting double back into that stuck dismount.
Madison Minner, the junior out of South Carolina, she actually trained at the club where Clemson was training while their facility was being built and ended up on the team.
Unfortunately, couldn't get enough power or rotation. She did a tuck 1.5, so a little bit different than what we typically see, and it just looked like she was short of power. You can see here, she doesn't get quite enough height off the table, and so she did not have enough rotation.
Yeah, that block angle on the table looked a little bit off. So again, one fall per team on this second rotation. So both of them now kind of looking to get back into it. Katie Harper for the Wolfpack. See the freshman out of Columbus, Ohio, just super strong in the bar lineup. Harper just outside of the top 10 in the ACC rankings and coming in at number 11.
She's going to start this routine with a clear hip into a Ginger release move. Really nice. Back down to that low bar for that bail to handstand. She can get a handstand right here and a stuck dismount. It's going to be a good score. Nice double out. Wow. I think that was a stick. It looked like her feet wanted to move, but she held on to it.
We'll take a quick look back at this bar routine.
You can see that clear hip into that nice high release move. The judges want to see when you release that it is higher than the bar. That is something that they're looking at. And then that nice position in the air on that double layout.
Fantastic routine. And just a crunched landing. That was Maggie Holman for the Tigers.
Looked like her block just wasn't enough right there. She had the height, but didn't quite twist quick enough. So unfortunately, they're going to have to count a fall.
Absolutely, and I hope her ankles are okay, because that was a landing, and then she is also set to be in the floor lineup, which is again another hard landing. So we'll see. We'll keep our eye on that as it comes in. That is a new vault that she learned just in the preseason and had stepped into the lineup due to holes left by injury and sickness. So a great opportunity for there. And you hear those cheers. That was a 9.9 out of Katie Harper.
Very well deserved.
Absolutely gorgeous routine as we get another look at Ortega.
Another really nice release move was that Hindorf that we talked about earlier in the broadcast. She goes down to low bar, right back up to high bar. Looking for a stuck dismount here. Nice double layout. Almost had it, but great save and a good routine for NC State.
Absolutely. Last week went 9.8 on her bar routine. A career high of a 9.9.
Take a look at that bail to handstand right on top of the bar, and then she goes right back up to the high bar. And then beautiful double layout. I don't think that her legs even came apart on that.
That was a fantastic routine for Ortega. Kind of in and out of the all-around lineup, but very consistent on the bar rotation. So we've got Trinity Brown in the final spot for this Clemson team. And again, she does a solid Yurchenko full with some of that, just the power that she is able to get another one of the transfers from Utah State.
Huge height off the table into that full deduction on that step back, but again, really big vault.
Absolutely. She actually set her career high on vault in their home opener over Pitt.
Look how high she gets, that amplitude off the table. Almost had that stick, but we'll have a deduction on that slight step back.
She could have opened a little bit more on that one, so much power.
She did have so much power. It's a good problem to have.
Definitely. All right, this is 2 for 4 for Shepard. Currently ranked number 4 on this event.
And look how high she gets on that release move. And just the form throughout the routine. The toes pointed. Her legs didn't even come apart on that pack down to the low bar.
Some gymnasts you'll see they have what's built-in deductions where they can't perform the skill without their legs coming apart. But hers are always glued together.
Wow. And a nice stock dismount. That is going to be a huge score right there.
Absolutely. Last week went 9.875 on that routine. Her career high is at 9.925, and I feel like it's going to be pretty close.
I loved just the lines and the handstand. She even had time to sit on top of the bar for a second. Look at this last one. And then how high she gets on that release from the bar into that stick, that's going to be a huge score.
She almost completes that second flip above the high bar, which is just unheard of and has all that time to spot the landing. So a phenomenal routine out of Shepard.
We can hear some cheering going on by the bars.
So Clemson is done on the vault. They're going to start getting ready for their third rotation. And it's
wow.
7.5, a new career high.
Amazing.
For Shepard.
Which means that one judge did throw a 10. How exciting.
Love it. Absolutely phenomenal routine. I do believe the Wolfpack has one exhibition, and how fun to be able to compete after that. I don't know if it's more fun or nerve-wracking.
I think it's more fun from the energy from the crowd, but wow, congrats to Emily Shepard. That is awesome.
So exhibition from Maddie Hall, who is kind of in and out of the lineup on this event. Again, just giving the Wolfpack some depth.
So far, a good routine. Couple of form breaks throughout, which, like you said, might be those built-in deductions. But ends with a nice high double tuck, drops into that landing, no problem.
So a fantastic finish for Emily Shepard and Maddie Hall, closing out rotation number 2. So we're going to take a quick break as the gymnasts get ready for rotation number 3. NC State having the slight edge right now, with Clemson having to compete or to count a fall on the vault apparatus. So on that stick, stay tuned for rotation number 3.